Good evening, my good people. Thank you for being here. This is Dr. Cherry. I am in Key West, my friend's house, doing a lot of walking. That he's my back. I'm still having a lot of problems there, but takes time to heal. Um, I'm going to start with a really, really bad news. We all know, sad enough, we are into a plutonic deadly window. Looking at the news, pretty obvious with what's going on. And I received an email from one of my last good friends from France. Who told me that Serge, Serge died. He was a good friend of mine. In fact, we growing up together, and it's always hurt. Always hurt that people that you were very close have to go. He was just a year younger than me, and Serge was born with the head of the dragon in Pisces, and Pisces was anything to do with cinematographic industry. So he was very, very much into movies, and he was running a movie theater all his life, basically, because that was his passion. Again, the stars have spoken. So he's gone. Makes me aware of my own mortality. I was lived in for 1 year and lost so many of my friends. That's why life is so precious, and it's so very important to make the most of every single day, especially like in my case, 75, I have more year behind than what I had ahead. And that's why I'm here every single day, healing and enjoying the best of what Key West has to offer. All right, let's talk a little bit about a few things here. Um, Taylor Swift, that girl is pretty smart. Mercury is retrograde. Mercury was anything to do with communication, transportation, and tape players. So, she is very, very smart because a lot of people use technology to steal the songs. Um, and a lot of artists in the past have complained that their very hard money, hard work was stolen because of technology. So not only she's safe on that way, but she's also selling the Walkman. Talk about affairs of the past and communication and everything that moves. So she's gonna make money with her right to her artistic work. Plus, she's gonna sell the Walkman, that cassette player. Talk about coming back into the past. So it's pretty interesting to deal with people who are so smart. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that. Another thing, I received an email, and some people are pretty concerned again with our president, Trump. What is he going to do, Dr. Turi? They're all worrying, and for good reasons. You have to remember the only way for Trump not to end up in jail or lose everything he owns is to maintain power. That's why he's going to do absolutely everything possible in his power with all his friends. Okay, all his minions, because all his minions will keep making millions, if not billions, by keeping him in power. So they're going to do all that they can to make sure their own wealth, their own surviving, their own great life is kept in motion. So you can expect absolutely anything and everything with Trump because once he loses the power, he is going to be sued left and right, and he might have to fly to Russia somewhere because in no way, with all this legal battle against him, once he loses presidency, um, he will survive it. So you, the stars are not exactly on his side after July 2026, and even after that, once the dragon move right on the United States, the tail of the dragon for our president will be in his corporated money, and this it will be on his eighth house of death. So it's going to be a very, very interesting 2 or 3 years ahead of us. So I hope I was able to answer that to you, my friends. Now, Robin, Robert, Robin Westman. In the newsletter, to those of you who did not read it, you do not know, but you have his chart. And if you look at it, it has a stallion. A stellium means three or four or more planets in one sign. I have a stellium in the world of Aquarius. That's why I'm an astrology and UFO loves me. And he has Mercury, which is the mind in Gemini, the head of the dragon in Gemini, like President Trump. Um, he has also Saturn in Gemini. Saturn is the great malefic, and wherever Saturn is, it will force the soul to understand what duality is all about. And of course, the sun is in Gemini. So that is on the head of the dragon. Now, the tail, the very negative dragon's tail, again, if you get into the newsletter and look at the chart, okay, you will see that his tail of the dragon is right in the seventh house, which is the public and open enemies, basically. And what makes the situation worse is his tail is in Sagittarius. And the tail in Sagittarius always means very unlucky with the codification of thought or anything and everything related to books or the Bible or religion in general. Okay. Like President Trump, he has exactly the same tail of the dragon. Um, but in a Robin Westman terrible case is that he was also born with Pluto, the planet of death and drama, on his dragon's tail in the seventh house, which triple and quadruple the negative energy of his dragon's tail, meaning there is no way in million years that he could escape a reptilian infestation. And remember, those negative extraterrestrials, what they do is hijack your body, your mind, and your soul. They will use anything, absolutely anything, drugs, alcohol, pot, medication, to uh, hijack your body, your mind, and your soul, lead you into serious depression, negativity, where you hate the world and you want to kill yourself. And in this case, he was killed by himself. He killed himself. So when you look at it, um, in his mind, he thinks and he talks like a Leo in the third house, and he has Venus, which is the planet of love. So all he had in his mind was all love. Okay, and another very, very important area of his chart is the moon, which is his emotional response to life, is in the sign of Virgo. That makes him fussy, picky, critical, um, anal in some ways. And he could not understand why all these kids, all these friends, all the people that were going to church, they're supposed to be loving, they're supposed to care, they're supposed to respect the good word of Jesus. Okay, love your enemy or whatever, or be understanding of who he was. A transgender is a Gemini. The male and the female are battling inside that soul. And then, of course, the US Department of Education is not allowing me or my student to teach those kids. And that's why they always choose either our college, university, or in that case, the church, to commit suicide and to kill everybody in the process. So that is terrible. I feel so very, very sorry for all the family and all the friends of all of those people who have lost someone in the process. It is absolutely terrible, terrible, but it is what it is. Okay. So, again, in the newsletter, you will see this chart, and you just have to follow my words and build a little bit more of cosmic consciousness and understanding his divinity on how God made him through the stars. Sad enough, the supreme wisdom or God cosmic design was taken away from us in the name of the Church Inc., uh, which has literally poisoned through over 5,000 religion, every single human, or nearly all of us on this planet. But it is, again, what it is. Once the age of Pisces um, takes over, dies, the new age of Aquarius will bring that cosmic awareness, including the reality of extraterrestrials. And if you did order my 2025 Nostradamus Dragon forecast, I say be ready from serious, serious negative news involving the church. And I guess I was right. Another of my prediction came to pass. Sad enough. Before taking some of, oh, I can see my wife here. She says the connection is unstable and the quality isn't clear. Well, that's probably because uh, maybe the satellite in Phoenix or the weather is bad out there. Um, and something is hanging on the side of the camera. I see that too. I don't know what it is. Yeah, there's absolutely. I'm trying to move. Yeah, maybe no. There's nothing on the side of the camera. It's just maybe dirt on the camera. Hmm? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, that's what it was. Now you can see me better. Thank you. See, my wife has a Virgo rising, so she sees everything. She's fussy, she's picky, she's critical, and all the perfectionist, but I love her. Hello, Cheryl, my dear friend. How are you, honey? Cheryl is one of my top students that never miss anything, and she shares my work. Really appreciate it. Simplicity is here too. Hello, Simplicity. So, okay, so this is where I need you to get your pen and your paper. Meantime, I will update the newsletter with the dates I'm going to give you right here, right now. Okay, write down the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th of September. We're going to be going during those dates through a unique, explosive, shocking type of windows. Usually it produces earthquakes, explosion, shocking videos. So be ready for surprises, good or bad, again, depending on your karma, um, on September 4, 5, 6. And then after that, on the 11, the 12, and the 13, we're going to be again dealing with a plutonic window. And you know, a plutonic window is like dying and rebirthing. It's one of the easiest window to recognize because it's all about supremely negative, deadly news. And I cannot be blamed because of the news. Remember, I am the messenger here. Okay, my job is to warn you in understanding God cosmic design or Jesus cosmic ministry and realize that Jesus sparked the stars. Everything has been changed over the centuries. Okay, and wherever you were born on any place on this planet, you are cursed by a religion that has been imposed upon your family for centuries. So you can see the damage. It's like a cancer that has grown and took away the essence of the divine. And luckily for you and me, because of my UFOs experience, I was able to be downloaded some information that allow me to dig into the archetypal realm of supracosmic consciousness and understand the mechanics of the universe or how God speaks through the stars to his children, because we are all children of the stars. That's where you came from. All right, so if you have any question, time for you to ask me your question. Remember, I also do dream interpretation. Okay. His Highness is here. Hello, my friend. Of course, another my great student is here. Andreas. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. I look great, healthy, rested, and happy. Guess what? I was until I got the bad news from one of my uh, friends that I grew up with who died, probably cancer, like every one of them. You know, you have to remember in France, it's a small country. It's a very small country. So there is no enough death when you look at it. So the government is not stopping, it's not teaching the people. Far I can't remember. Everybody around me smoked and drank. It was normal. And decided when I grew up, I realized it was bad news. Okay. Uh, and I've lost majority of my friends died of lung cancer, throat cancer, because of the cigarette smoke. You know, God give you a set of lungs to breathe air, not no excuses, no pot, no cigarette, nothing. Air, pure oxygen. Okay. And it's going to take you 2 years without smoking to rebuild a new set of lungs. But that means also a longer life process and avoiding lung cancer, which is not something good. Remember, I had cancer, colon cancer. I was working as a breakfast chef in England for many years, and every single day I was stuffing myself with English breakfast. That means sausages and bacon and eggs, and they kind of literally messed up my guts. And then years later, I developed colon cancer. Uh, it's also negativity. When my first wife, second wife dropped me, I was miserable. And then now, negativity can only attract negativity. And it also affects your immune system. There are forces in you that are incredibly powerful. He always says you're more than blood, nerves and bones and flesh. You have very, very powerful energy that you're not aware of that is going to heal you. And the same power can also kill you. It's just a choice, like always, it's a choice. Okay. You got to make those choices. The next full moon is in September 7th in Pisces, and the new moon will be on the 21st in Virgo. More on the Cosmic Code website as well, of course. September 7th, the full moon in Pisces. What do you think is going to happen? Well, again, use your intuition. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune rules Key West. That's why everybody here that I see is either a drunk or a pothead. It's just amazing. And it's called the Key West disease, where people can't go to work. They don't want to go to work. They're lazy. Pisces, you only have two fish, one coming up and one coming down. The one swimming up, Einstein, Michelangelo, George Washington, Dr. Curie, Barbara Streisand, Bruce Willis, all these artistical, spiritual people like me, I'm a Pisces too, uh, reach God feet. And then you have the one who goes downhill into the quicksand of Neptune where there is no return. Alcazar. You heard of Alcazar? Alligator Alcazar. So pay attention to the news because it's in the wetlands. It's in the Everglades, and talk about being into the water. So there'll be news about Alcazar. Pisces, on the negative side, rules also confinement, church, synagogue, asylum. So there may be some prisoner escape, which usually when they spend enough time in jail, they all come back, reborn Christian again or Muslim or whatever. This is what Neptune does. Neptune is a very, very powerful guy. Okay, that's why a lot of ships went down, like the Titanic. Many, many ships went down when the moon is in Pisces and waning or negative. That's where Neptune gets stronger. Okay. So during that full moon, expect news involving water. Use your intuition. Okay. Anything to do with the good or the bad fish is what's going to happen, as Terania mentioned, when we're going to hit that new moon in Pisces. Okay. And then the full moon will be in Virgo, right on the dragon's tail. The tail is in the sign of Virgo. That's why everybody wants to clean. Our president wants to clean cities, and none of his advisor is kind of guiding him, make him aware, Mr. President, the tail of the dragon, as a Gemini, June, July, August, September, is on your fourth house. The fourth house is the domestic scenery of the president, which is the White House. That's why he's being restructuring, cleaning up the White House. And it represents the people who have elected him Homeland Security, or the cities, so to speak. So he wants to clean everything. You can't clean everything. It's impossible. So I approve and I admire our president drive for this puritanical cleaning, cleansing process of our cities, and surely endorse that every single illegal alien that kill or are criminal should be thrown back to where they came from or fed to the crocodile, as far as I'm concerned. So I do agree with President Trump in some ways, but at the same time, this is hell. It was set by God this way, and there are things that cannot be fixed. So the president is under the jurisdiction of the Virgin Mary. Virgin Mary is fussy, picky, critical, anal, and she wants to clean and she wants to cleanse. and thus affecting the fourth house of the president. And as we have elected him, we have to suffer his idiosyncrasy, because when you elect a president, you have to experience his fate. He's a Gemini. So he changes his mind every 2 minutes. He tells you something, he does something else. Gemini is 246, two impeachment, two election, two legal battle, two hotels, two restaurants. I repeat myself. I might sound redundant to some of you who heard the show before, but there is new people that join, so they have to know. And repetition is a must. I was born myself with the moon in Gemini. This is why my home is where I communicate, where I talk, okay, where I write. That is the beauty of the moon in Gemini. Sometimes it means living with people. And as a Pisces, you're always moving, so there's always places. And since Gemini is two places, I have a home in Arizona, and I'm living here at my friend's house. You see, I have two homes. I mean, two places. Understand the duality. Understand God cosmic design and how it imposes will upon His children, who are most of them cosmic and conscious. And this is where it's terrible, because the U.S. Department of Education and all the churches, okay, should teach their children the reality of what's going on. Again, in the case of Robin Westman, uh, nobody was there to teach him that, to tell him you're a jewel, and nobody also taught those people who, who have forced him to kill everybody around him. None of these people were educated in understanding what is a jewel. You're not, you're born gay, literally. And then there is other things that interact that produces all sorts of what people who are not cosmic conscious perceive as a disorder or something unnatural, which I understand because nobody taught them. It's a responsibility of the US Department of Education and all the churches in the world to teach all their audiences, all their patrons, all their peers, followers, to understand God cosmic design and realize Jesus cosmic ministry, which is nothing else than a representation of the 12 apostles, the 12 saints, the 12 jury, the 12 tribe of Israel, the 12 note of music, and of course the 12 sign of the zodiac and your 12 houses. That is something that is so critical that has been stolen from us. And then when you disturb the hierarchy of God cosmic design, now you see the result: stupidity, drama, death, murder, instability, fear, all feeding the reptilians, which have fun and destroy everything around them. All right, this being said, let's look at so what is anything else. Um, okay, somebody's asking something here. Bear with me. It's kind of strange that I was run over by a flying saucer myself. Well, again, I been under a flying saucer. God thanks it didn't hit me. It's a long story. I don't know how you could be hit by a flying saucer, but maybe it's just the word you use, not really understanding what that means. Um, but Taranya says, be a highly symbolic image that suggests a collision between your personal path and a powerful unknown and extreme force. The meaning can be positive or negative. That sounds to make sense to me. Louis, can you check Kevin health area having some issue? He was born October 23rd, 1954. Again, Cheryl, October, November, December, January, February, March. 6 hours is the house of health. The head of the dragon can be both a blessing or a curse. It's all only 6 hours of work and health, and it rules hospital. So, as mentioned in my 2025 Nostradamus Dragon forecast, uh, anywhere you're going to have the head of the dragon and the tail of the dragon. In your son's case, of course, is on your 6th house of work and health, and his 12th house, which regulates his subconscious. They will have to feel the consequences of the dragon. Okay. Now, it's important for him, since the tail is in his subconscious, to make sure he keep a positive attitude. Now, of course, If there is any alcohol or drugs, medication or chemical being ingested now, it is not going upstream, it's going downstream. But again, I'm a soul doctor. I am not a traditional physician, even though that I got a bunch of them learning from me. So, you know, use your intuition, sure. You're a Scorpio, honey. Use your intuition and try to keep him clean mentally, because anything that's going on in the subconscious becomes a wish. So if he's negative or depressed, and delegate with medication or chemical, drugs, alcohol, God knows what pot, um, his subconscious might take all these fears as a wishes, and that would negate or nuke his immune system. All right. So I hope that helped. Let's see what we have here. I have Virgo rising conjoined by Pluto, and you're a Gemini, if I remember. Okay. June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. Okay, so it's in the fourth house as far as you're concerned. So your career and your home are being affected by the dragon, His Highness. Maybe bastard generations. So again, we have to remember that Pluto is an extraordinarily powerful planet, and in the sign of Aquarius, it is going to make this house literally explode with good and bad energy. So it's important to know where that Pluto is. If there is one planet you're going to keep an eye, uh, it's Pluto. Now remember, I just discussed a little bit earlier the power of Neptune, the good and the bad fish. But every single planet has a tremendous amount of information and energy that is either blessing or cursing a specific house. And there's no way that I can deal with that uh, on this show tonight. Now, in the sign of Aquarius, Pluto is anything to do with dying and rebirthing, and Aquarius is all about shocking and explosion. And they are trying to send their shuttle or doing all sorts of things, and you see everything blowing up in the sky. Okay, so Pluto in Aquarius is also the deep fear and the real possibility of AI putting an end to the human race. That is not a joke. Pluto is death. Aquarius is nukes. Wait, when the dragon comes into Aquarius and Leo, which is Japan and France, okay, um, sometimes in July 2026. Okay, I had the time to write this new newsletter, Nostradamus Dragon Forecast for the year 2026, where I will elaborate a little bit more on how this new dragon Aquarius Leo will be blessing or cursing each sign of the zodiac. But I'm telling you, with Pluto, the planet of death, in the sign of Aquarius, uh, and this sign was also Asia, not just Japan, China. So we are on for some pretty interesting time. And if you're a believer of extraterrestrials, I'm not. I'm not, because to me it's not a religion. Been through it in reality. So ETs are very real. Then that Pluto is going to give a very serious wake up call to the entire world. Just be ready. Remember, I am into the future. Okay. Let's see here. Sure, it's my husband. Okay, it's your husband. Yes. 911, he worked it in that area. Yeah, 911. I wrote everything in great detail. Just Google 911 Dr. Cherry prediction, and you can read what I wrote well before. The very last sentence that I wrote in capital. Be ready for the government to take drastic decision. And I think they did. Anyway, my moon is 15 Aquarius, where you got to be uh, cautious, because moon in Aquarius makes you very friendly. The moon represents your emotional response to life. So you're very friendly. You want to travel the world. You want to get into UFO. You want to get into the stars. But you've got Pluto in there that makes you explosive. Okay, explosive. So your emotion can be very destructive, especially with friends or with groups. That Pluto may nuke everything around you if you're not cautious and not control the ego. Okay, that's at the worst, of course. It could also means entire complete restructure of the base of operation. Maybe get into the real estate to make some money in investment. There's so many ways on how that can affect you. Uh, Again, you have to remember Aquarius rules also airplane and airport and see what happened. See what happened. Antonio mentioned something, 25 airplane crashes this year alone. I mean, if you do not believe in astrology with facts, and my explanation are so obvious, I don't know what can be done to help you to build more cosmic consciousness. But I mean, slowly but surely, if you don't know me, if you never dig into my work, okay, you have the right to be skeptical. But if you're patient and you pay attention and you make note and you read the newsletter and you watch these videos and you share those videos, be part of the solution, okay, then you will realize that there is something in God cosmic design. Um, I studied Dragon UFO at custodian file. Well, there is option to educate yourself on UFOs and dragons all over the place. But as far as the dragon is concerned, um, the Occidental and Oriental astrology is based upon 12 specific animals. I was born in the year of the tiger. You have the year of the monkey, the year of the horse, the year of the dog. Then you have the Gemini, Sagittarius. So it's 12 animals. But as you can see, astrology has been all over the world. And in different places, they're different animals, but the energy are the same. Okay. For example, Aquarius is independent. Aquarius is magnetic, and it's the tiger. Everybody wants the skin of the tiger, right? That's why everybody wants a piece of meat. And then you have the snake. The snake is Scorpio. You want to be careful. They got a stinger, it can poison you. All right. And then you have the bull, which is Capricorn. Then you have the dog, okay, which is Libra. And then you have the dragon, which is Aries, and so forth. So you can see the relationship between the Oriental and Occidental astrology. They're speaking the same language with a different representation, symbology. Same. Okay, what else do we have? 11 April 1973, please could we have a quick reading? Okay, who is this? April 1973 and the 11th. Let's see what I can find for you. Okay, so April, so that would be 4th, and then the 11th. And let's see, 1973, I think is a Leo. Not Cancer tail. All right, so you in Aries, okay. You got Saturn in Gemini in your 3rd house. Okay, so usually Aries talks a lot, but Saturn might restrain you. It might want you to get into the world of communication and transportation. Uh, You'll be lucky if you follow your head of the dragon, which is working for the government, the army, the navy, or maybe fireman or anything to do with building your own corporation here. Nothing's going to come easy for you. The head of the dragon in Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn doesn't pay off right away. It's going to take years before you get to the top. But ultimately, you will. You don't like doctors. You can see that. You have the moon in Leo. So that's going to be the eternal youth. Artistical values are there too. Let go of the upbringings messed up. The tail is on the upbringing. Don't eat when you're upset to save your stomach. And again, don't put stress on your knees. Gemini, I mean, Capricorn was your joints and your knees. And your head in there could put some stress. You face the world as a Libra with the planet Uranus, eccentric, futuristic technology, and Pluto, an investigator of the higher order. This is a good chart now. I've gained the tail of the dragon, and the head of the dragon is on your work and your health and your subconscious. Okay. So the idea, since you have Mercury in Pisces, is to follow your intuition, understand the forces of your subconscious, maybe watch my movie on the superconscious from drcherry.com, and then remember your subconscious is very strong. The head and the tail of the dragon is right there. In about 2 to 3 years from now, the dragon is going to come back to where it was when you were born. And that's going to be a completely and entirely life changing, not only for you, but also for the United States. okay, because America is a cancer country. Okay. All right. So as I said, July 4, 1776, to represent food, the ancient carved the crab. And what does the crab do sitting on a rock all day long? Eat. That's why American dies with the fork. Too much food, not enough exercise. So once the dragon mute with your dragon, that's going to be really, really interesting. I see a move. I see Europe and Italy later on. I see all sorts of things for you, but I cannot do a full reading, just giving you a little bit of a feedback. I hope you enjoy that. I hope you understood what I said. Okay, it is important to use your personal cosmic biorhythm with the universal window date. Yes, yes. I mean, there'll be days when you get up or you wish you never get up. So you're going to have a flat tire. You're going to drive around, take your kids to school. You're going to get stopped by a cop. God knows what. You're going to come home to a bad telephone call, or maybe a bad letter. Now, this is when your cosmic biorhythm, which means when you are at the lowest part of the month. Let's say in a female, okay, when she gets her menstruation, like my wife, ooh, just stay away from her when she gets her menstruation. She gets lunatic, moody, and grubby. It's the same with every woman, I guess. But it's, I mean, as far as the stars are concerned, male and female, there is a, remember, up and down, black and white, the front, the back, God devil, there'll be a time in the month where you're the lowest. And anything wrong that can happen will happen. Exactly what happened to us with Mercury retrograde. It started with Terra nearly dying 118 degrees in Phoenix, and the AC went down. Then I went down there to save her. And then I realized my pool pump was dead. Had to change that. And then, oh my gosh, we had a water leak in the wall. And then, whoa. So everything, we were the lowest of the lowest. Okay. Now, 2 weeks later, you're going to be at the top. That's where you have great news. That's where people win the lottery and they experience fantastic things. So, knowing about your cosmic biorhythm, and that's something that I've trained Taranya to do. She gets your date of birth. She checks out all year round, all up and all the down. Now, it's up to you. Since the dragon works in reverse, it can be good and bad. You have to depict on those dates that she writes for you. You have to make notes. Okay, she says, let's say September 8, 9, and 10. Okay, she's going to tell you those dates, and you have to make sure that my windows are also, let's say you have a negative plutonic window and you are on the negative cosmic biorhythm, that's where people die. Okay, I see it all the time. And on the other side, it's just completely a blessing in disguise. What happened? It's life changing. So again, you get all those dates. The idea is not to expect immediate gratification with cosmic biorhythm. It doesn't work that way. It might take you a year or two before you can make progress or understand those cosmic biorhythm and those waves, high and low tide in your life. So it's only if you keep attention, you buy a calendar and you write, okay, every single month I have 3 days when I'm gonna be up and 3 days when I'm gonna be down. Okay, maybe you're gonna be up when you're down and down when you're up, depending on your karma, because we give you the date. It's up to you to check. But usually those dates ain't gonna be a normal day at work. There's gonna be something very special that will take place during those days. And I've been checked before I sell something. I experienced it, I double check it, I triple check it. I know all my cosmic biorhythm. And I also tell my friends that I am with now, I say, oh my gosh, be ready. Moon in Scorpio, death and drama. And then we're going to have a problems and people are going to be nasty. They're not going to have any patience. They will threaten you, God knows what. This is, you got to be careful when the moon is in Scorpio, because whatever you say or do when the moon is in Scorpio usually follow you for the rest of your life or you die. Not a joke. All right. Just pay attention. Knowledge is power. Ignorance is evil, my good friend. Let's see what we have. Um, okay. I'm a hug. I'm a hug. All right. The pig. That's the hug is Taurus. Taurus is all about money. I mean, if you look at representation, what you do with a hug, Okay, you feed him, and at the end you kill him to hit him because it's a time to celebrate and you enjoy it. So being a hog means also you could have a good heart and can be good food for the wrong people or wrong reason. Kimberly, hi, Dr. Tree. I'm 55, born 11/17/69. Can I have a reading? Lately, I don't feel well and can't figure it out. My boyfriend is 2/15/69. How well is our sign together? But again, you're a Scorpio, okay? That's a water sign, and he's an air sign, is Aquarius. Normally, Scorpio is attracted to water sign, Cancer, Pisces, or a Taurus. Not possibility of long-lasting relationship, but you're much too intense, too deep, too committed to hang around with the uh, traditionally a Aquarius. However, both of you were born in 1969, so let me check you out. I want to see. Having the same dragon can bring you something, and you're definitely a really good soul. Even though that you have the energy of the Scorpio, those born on the 17th, they definitely have a huge heart. Okay, so 1969. Let me double check your dragon. Both of you dragon. Okay, so both of you have the tail of the dragon in the Pisces Virgo. So you're getting into a mutual reception of your dragon. The dragon is back to where it was when you were born and when your boyfriend were born, and that is significant. It's affecting your fifth house. The tail of the dragon is on your wishes and friends, where you got Pluto. So remember, you lose a friend or you lose a family member, you lose a wish. It's just a law. So you got to be nice. Scorpio have a problem with stupidity and they have a stinger. They can be sarcastic and nasty. Okay. I can see that you have the moon in Aquarius. So since he's in Aquarius, now you have something that matches your emotional response to life. If it was astrology, your FO being friendly, but it's in square. I don't practice modern astrology, but all your planet or your stellium in Scorpio are in square to Mars and moon in Aquarius. So Mars could mean fighting at home, or losing a house in a fire. So be cautious, okay? Control your emotions, okay? And I can see you have Saturn in Taurus, so you might have some problem on the neck or thyroid gland because you've probably been hanged during some of your past life as a nun. That's why sometimes you stay home, you don't want to do anything, you don't want to go anywhere, and you're critical, fussy, picky, and critical. You're a medicine woman, from what I see here. Okay, Saturn in Taurus means you the fear of not having enough money or losing your security, and that becomes a wish to your subconscious. Don't do that. Don't let that negative energy or the reptilians override your logic, your consciousness, or your positivism. Okay. Uh, the next dragon will be moving in your home. Hold on, one, two, three. November, December, January, February, in your home, in your career. So there is a big move ahead of you. There is a restructure of your career after 2026, July. Okay, you're gonna have 18 months of a restructure of your home and your career, and that's going to be much, much, much better. Right now, uh, the head of the dragon is in Pisces, so it's either spirituality, religion, psychic work, creativity, anything involving Neptune. And the positive aspect of the planet is how you regenerate. You can regenerate by the water, maybe in a cruise, walking barefoot by nature on a lake, by the ocean. Get close to that water energy because that's what's going to heal you. And again, you regenerate through the magnetic field of the earth through your feet. All right, this being said, let's see what we have. Um, let's see, 21567. See, I, I'm not gonna. You made a mistake here. That's typical Pisces tale. Pisces is a dreamy side. It not necessarily has aptitude with details, and you're also emotionally connected. Now, I would have to do a comparison chart in great detail to find out if relationships are worthwhile. I mean, if you were handling billions of dollars, you know, and you have a partner, before you sign that contract, you better have a comparison chart. I mean, remember the wealthiest man on the planet, J.P. Morgan, said, millionaires don't use astrologies, billionaires do. So if you have a lot of money or you want to invest in something or somebody, you better check the partner stars because the dragon still could be on your eighth house of corporate endeavors, and next thing you know, all your money is sucked away, all your energy is sucked away. Okay, it's just the way it works. Remember, it's simple. Knowledge is power, ignorance is evil. Simple as that. And you have an intuition. Everybody has an intuition. That little voice here never lies. You need to listen to it, pay attention, and follow it. Simple as that. I watch my, yeah, you watch your movie. Well, I hope you enjoy them. Okay, Kimberly, I do, how do we give Tirania our birth information for a full reading? First of all, be patient because I am swamped. I try to take care of you, but there is a lot of people that are getting very impatient because there's all the stuff that I'm going through. Um, but now I'm ready to go. Okay, so if you've been waiting, and I know there's many of you, you're going to see me face to face on Zoom regularly because I'm going to start to be more productive since my back is getting better. All you got to do, honey, is go to drcherry.com, and then you have our email address. You can also read the newsletter, and at the bottom of the newsletter, you have her email address, you have a telephone. There is always a way to connect with her. And when I'm good new here, look, I'm going to put the number right here, 602-265-7667. Okay, you can call the office, okay? And then she'll take care of you. Don't call her now because she's probably digging with other thing. I know her. She's so busy. Without her, there'll be no business with Dr. Chury. All right, so let's see. Edith, Dr. Chury, can my child show health issue currently having lots of jaw, neck, head pain? 12,471. So let me look at you. Okay, we're gonna put the chart on the screen. We're gonna put 12, 4, 1971. Let me look at you, and the stars will speak. Okay, are you a Sagittarius? Okay, and you got Jupiter in Sagittarius. So foreigners are a blessing to you. Reading, uh, helping, traveling, animals. A lot of past life with the Indians. You got past life in France and Italy. You didn't live long. Okay, you got a fear. Tail of the Dragon is in Leo, and that's a subconscious fear of death and decay. In other words, you worry much, much, much too much about your health, and that becomes a wish to your subconscious. You got a moon in Cancer, so don't eat when you're upset, because I know you can cook or you like food, and that's okay. But when you eat and you're upset, it turns into poison, okay, and that gets straight to your heart, especially if you have heart problems here. Okay, the head is in Aquarius in your third house, so you're very smart. Um, who has a dragon set in the world of Aquarius like you? Ah, there's a lot of very interesting people. Taylor Swift. Okay, she's born in December with the head of the dragon in Aquarius. Okay, so anything to do with Aquarius, astrology, the future, UFO, traveling, being independent, universal love, God knows what. It's your way out. Okay, the head of it, and that means you could write. I mean, look at Taylor Swift. She writes all her songs. She's an incredible gifted genius, and then that's what you get. Aquarius is the sign of the genius. Einstein was born with the head of the dragon in Aquarius. The problem is your tail. Tail in Leo. My son, who died 2 years ago, was also born with the same dragon in you, and I used to tell him all the time: don't smoke, don't drink, don't do pot, don't do drugs. Be happy, be positive. And I said to him, go and get checked. Oh, no, I'd rather die. I don't want to get the bad news. See? So the fear became a reality. And he died 2 years ago. Okay, so this dragon can be really, really difficult because of the fear of dying or getting sick, which becomes a wish. Do not poison your body, your mind, and your soul, or let the reptilians make you fear everything because you're insecure. Now, remember what I said earlier, you're more than bone, flesh, nerves. Okay, you've got a supreme power. You've got the power of God working through your soul, and those energies are quite complicated and usually abnormally strong in either way. Are you going to push on the head or the tail? Pay attention. Be positive and you see things turn around. If you believe that you're sick and you're going to get sick, believe me, you're going to get sick. Okay. So stop becoming your worst enemy. All right. Let's see what I detect. Mars is in Pisces. Maybe you got some problem on your feet in the process also. Again, that's regeneration through your feet by the water. Take it easy on yourself. Okay? You're your worst enemy, honey. So sorry. All right, let's see what we have. Well, again, in reference to neck problem, uh, tail of the dragon in Leo means that you have had some past life in Spain, Portugal, France, and Italy, and you've probably been destroyed, burned, hanging, drowned, and you carried a trauma around the neck and the fear that have tainted your heart, literally. Be positive, and then you can beat all that. The power of God in you is much stronger than the storm. Never forget. All right, let's see. Okay. I already took care of Edith, I believe. Yes. Kimberly, thank you. You're welcome, honey. Kimberly, you're welcome and my pleasure. I should probably talked to her already. So basically, my friend, right here, right now, okay, I'm looking at the stars right here, right now. Okay, August 28, 2025. And the moon is at 17 degree 21 seconds into the sign of Scorpio. So whatever you do, whatever you say, wherever you go, when the moon is in Scorpio, remember Pluto, the Lord of Hades, okay, the evil, deadly planet Pluto is in charge. That's why I said avoid congested area. Don't be part of a big party when the moon is in Scorpio after night, because that's where evil is found. Especially if there's drugs or chemical being ingested, now emotion takes over. You know the rules between logic and emotion. Emotion always win, and you always lose because you fight. And you land on somebody which is crazy, who doesn't give a damn about life because he's so depressed, he's so negative, he's so infected that he's going to kill you. He doesn't care if he's going to end up in jail for the rest of his life. So that's why you have to be cautious. If you are in a situation, okay, and it's difficult, as I said, emotion overrun logic. You're in a situation where you're driving, for example, and the freaking loser in front of you does something wrong. Okay, the first thing you want to do is to start to scream and swear or finger, whatever. Don't. Don't. Just swallow. Keep the ego in check. Keep the emotion down, because this lunatic might come at you, stop the car right in the middle of the street. It happened to me. He might come to you with a gun. Okay, and then bump, bump. It happens all the time. Be smart. Okay, you are in a world that is designed to learn through pain and suffering. This is hell. As always says, you ain't gonna go to hell. This is it. But you can make it paradise if you become cosmic conscious. And as I said, don't let anything that has hurt you emotionally, physically, spiritually drag you down, because now you are allowing that energy to grow like a cancer. And that's going to get you in the long run, because there is only one way, up or down. And I noticed that, especially here in Key West. I mean, this is definitely a Neptune area. It's so incredibly powerful. The energy, the humidity, uh, you got to experience it. It's going to take a while before I get my business going till my back is fixed. Um, but I certainly hope that many of you will decide to come and visit me, okay, on my boat when it will happen. You know, it always does with me. You got to be patient and you got to be steady. You don't quit. You heal first and you make your plan and you push forward. And one day, hey, you're going to hang up with me on my boat, looking at the stars or ETs, God knows what, or sunset, or snorkeling, God knows what. That's what you want to keep in your mind, that beautiful sunset over the Gulf of America or Mexico, whatever you choose. So, my friend, let me see if there is anything else that somebody is asking for a question here. The dragon is the most vital aspect of the entire shark complexity as it alters the strengths and weakness of the UCI. UCI stands for Unique Celestial Identity, and yes, indeed, my wife is right. There is more power in the location of your dragon alone than the entire complexity of your chart. So the idea is to find out in what house and in what sign it is. And once you know, you push. But first, you have also to know where is the universal dragon and how it interacts with your own dragon. And that is just absolutely phenomenal because knowledge can lead you to where you want to go easier. It's not a nice ride on this world, that's for sure. But at the same time, there is no reason to let anything or anyone bug you, uh, upset you. If they say something, oh, people are judging you, just go outside and then just pay attention. You're going to see people looking at their phone. They don't give a damn about you. They're not outside to look at you. They're looking at their phone. They're busy with their own life. They don't care. They don't even notice sometimes what you wear. Okay? So don't take yourself too seriously. Okay? And try to make this hell a paradise. It's possible. Many people did. I'm working at it myself. Okay? All right, Serenia, I am here watching live. Yes, it is. Yes, yes, the Star Boat. I like that. Now we're naming my business "Lady of the Sea Charters" in honor of our little girl, our little dog. You know, we are dog lovers. A lady came to us 11 years ago. I remember she was crashing the door 11 o'clock at night, and my wife opened the door, and there was a little thing here. She was smelly, dirty. It took me nearly 1 hour to get rid of all the ticks and all the fleas that wash her and clean her and everything else. She was so beautiful, and I got a first picture that was taken of her and I. And the next day, we start to put some flyers all over the place because, I thought maybe a kid lost a dog, and then it might be very, very sad. So let's put some flyers. But you know what? We already fell in love with her. We came back the next day. We took down those flyers and say, "Honey, you're staying. They find a home. You find a real home with people that really loves and respect animals." And since then, she's been the queen. Right? She's keeping us happy. Um, she get away with murder with my wife, obviously, not with me. She knows daddy is here and I am the boss, and she knows it, and she is just a loving machine. Uh, I miss sleeping with her. I miss petting her and my wife. Okay, but hey, in life, if you want to get somewhere, you gotta have sacrifice. The insurance is not willing to pay. So I hopefully my attorney is going to get things and justice will be done. But for the time being, not having exactly fun. I need some serious uh, therapy, back therapy, and I need eye surgery again. I lost my entire hearing's gone bad. So things I have this electronic equipment so I can hear myself and I can hear you, so I can still operate, I can still work. Yeah. Okay, so 58 minutes and 28 seconds. We are at the end of this hour of the show. Um, Again, remember to read the newsletter. I am going to update it with the dates that I gave you in case you did not make notes or you couldn't remember whatever it is. So that newsletter is going to be updated. Uh, and then when, as usual, my vision come to pass, I will put them down there. And maybe you also join me on my radio show. I have a big radio show coming up. It's in the newsletter. Okay. I'm going to be talking about probably UFOs. And then we're going to go from there. So the idea again, read the newsletter, share my work. Okay. And hopefully one of these days, my good friends, we will see you in Key West on Lady of the Sea Charters. Until then, from Key West, Florida, I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing my work. And we'll talk to you again in the future. God bless you all. Peace. Bye bye.